she said she was from the East Coast, and God was calling her to the West Coast in California. And she said she went to the beach, talking with God, having a conversation with God, and all she remembered hearing is Exodus. Exodus. And she said Exodus means exit. And she didn't really know truly what this meant. She just was trying to remain obedient and do what she thought God was, calling her to do. And see, I think with me, that'd be kind of the confusing part, because I know God is wanting me to do something, but it's almost like I don't want to do the wrong thing. I want to make sure I'm doing the right thing because I don't want it to throw me off of track. But what I do is, even if I don't 100% know if this is the direction God wants me to head in, I always talk with him and ask him, like, God, if I ever get off my path, like, please put me back on the right path. Please like lead me in the right direction, because I know sometimes it's easy to get off track, or it's easy to go, off on another route that you're not supposed to be going. So I always just ask God to, if I ever get off of track, please place me on the right path, so I am walking and going in the direction that you want me to go in, not the direction that I want to go in. Because we always want to do what we want to do and not what God wants us to do. And every time we do what we want to do, guess what? Stuff never goes exactly how we expect it to go. We always hit a roadblock, just because we doing what we want to do. It's not about what you want to do, okay? Just get that out your head. It's not about what you want to do. It's about what God wants you to do. And what he wants you to do is going to be for you, and you are going to be happy doing it in the end if you can accept that. And she also said something that really moved me for real. Like, that's why I'm just so grateful and happy that, we have these platforms and we have these people that are okay with being vulnerable, because this is what we need to help get each other along the way. If we don't have people to voice how they feel and voice their experiences, a lot of people would still be in painful situations and dealing with a lot of things, and continuously be scared to be vocal about their situations because they feel like they don't have anybody that can understand or that can relate. But I promise you, if you start speaking your story and start telling your truths about what's going on in your life, no matter how painful or embarrassing or just whatever it may be, I'm telling you, stuff is gonna start showing up in your life, and people are gonna start showing up, and they're gonna start revealing themselves. Everything gonna start revealing itself to you. But you never know, and you're never going to know, as long as you are in your shell and not putting yourself out there and being vulnerable and speaking to people. I've definitely already talked about this before in my previous videos too. But yes, I'm just so grateful and happy that she shared this, because I just loved it. I just absolutely loved it. And I wish I could just give her a big hug. It's crazy. But anyway, she said God told her to draw pictures. So she draws or whatever. And she said God told her to draw pictures and post them on Instagram for 30 days. For 30 days straight, God told her to draw pictures and post them on Instagram. And in that 30 days, somebody, mind you, I told y'all she was out in California, somebody had found her through a hashtag, put her onto a job. One thing led to another, and it just carried her along her journey from doing that one small thing. God is very mysterious, okay? Very mysterious. And he'll have you doing stuff that makes absolutely no sense to you. But it's always a reason for it. And somebody found her through a hashtag on her pictures that she didn't realize and understand why she was posting them. Somebody found her, and from that task that she did alone and was obedient in doing it, it led her to living the life that she is and just being a successful person that she is right now in this moment. And like I said, some of the things that God asks us to do, they don't make sense to us right then in that moment. They don't, but just do it. Just be obedient, be diligent, and do it with purpose and meaning behind it, because it's for a reason. Even if you don't know, it's for a reason. And like I said, and I always will say, everything happens for a reason. Just in relation to that, like me with my YouTube channel and me going into coaching, being so vulnerable on here, on the internet, period, but on this platform and on my Instagram and on my Facebook, like just being such a different Brittany that people are not used to. I don't know why I'm doing it. And quite frankly, when I first started it, I did not want to do it. I did not want to do it. And even now, sometimes I don't want to do it. But I know it's for a reason. I don't know what the reason is. I really don't know. But I know it's for something. I know I'm not just doing it just because, I know it's something bigger that God is preparing me for. So I'm just being obedient and I'm just being diligent and I'm just doing what He's telling me to do. Because I told y'all after my fast, I was not, when I posted my very first video, y'all see the video was for Instagram. Like, I wasn't posting that to post for YouTube. I was posting it because I felt God telling me I needed to share my story. And when I did, I know it affected so many people because I had so many people reaching out to me and commenting on my actual video. So I was like, dang, this really helping people. Like, I could really help people. Y'all, I've been knowing I always wanted to help people. I just didn't know in what way. So this is me serving people, doing something that I didn't never think I would be doing. But I enjoy it because this is also an outlet for me to be able to speak and talk. Because quite frankly, y'all, I be at the house by myself. Sometimes I could go hours and hours without talking, probably a whole day without talking. So I really be needing to do this so I can release my words and my thoughts and my emotions and my feelings for real, because I don't really be talking to nobody like that, especially like on this level. But sometimes I do. I'm not just saying I'm a complete loner, but you get what I'm saying. Like, I don't just have I don't have my person yet. I have a few people, but I don't have my person. So I be up in here talking to myself sometimes. But I like talking to myself because it really get me through like my thoughts and get me through a lot of things. But enough of that. She also said she never wanted, like I said earlier in the show, she never wanted to do none of the things that she's doing right now. But she said that these things already existed in her. Like I said, I never knew I would be doing this. And I don't know if this is what God has for me and this is the final thing. Of course, this isn't the final thing, but I know this is like a starting point. I never thought I would be making no YouTube videos and doing this and being vulnerable and expressing myself. But I know I wanted to help people. So me just speaking and being a vessel, I know that's helping people. So I'm satisfied with that because I love helping people in many different ways. So going back to the part where she said God really started to take everything away from her, she also said God took her through all of these things so she could appreciate life more. And I'm like, dang, y'all, like, a lot of times we go through life taking it for granted just because we're living our lives the way we've been living them for so long. And we don't realize how much we take life for granted for real. Unless you have an experience that'll really humble you, you won't really know that you've been taking your life for granted until you go through that. And it just makes me think, like, I remember I had traveled to Cuba, and that was one of my most humbling, like, I love traveling. Traveling is my thing. I've been traveling since I was a little girl. And I went to Cuba, and that was my most humbling, like, trip, like, that I've ever been on. Just going to a city like that and just seeing the way that they lived, it really humbled me. And it really made me think, like, coming back to America and living in the U.S., like, this is such a spoiled ass country, and how we take advantage of the things around us and the resources around us. We don't really make use of them. And it's so sickening. Like, the little things that they do have, like, they do not take those things for granted, y'all. Like, it's so crazy. Like, I remember something as small as a water bottle, y'all. Y'all know water bottles that we drink out of every day and trash them and toss them? A water bottle in Cuba is like gold to them. Like, if they find a water bottle, like, you're doing something. And it's like, you literally just found $1 million if you find a water bottle out there, because they don't have those type of things out there to be able to carry water and just the things that they need. So I remember, like, I was riding around like on a horse and carriage, and Lord, I hate I even did that now that I think about it. And I was about to go into some shops and was leaving a water bottle out on the seat. And the guy that was taking us on the horse, he was like, oh no, y'all might want to get that because when you come back, that'll be gone. Y'all, something as simple as a water bottle. So, like I said, like, we don't really appreciate the things that we have in life because we've been so spoiled. Even when you think you didn't grow up a certain way and didn't have certain things, like, it's always somebody going through a situation tougher than yours, you know? Way more. You just don't know because you haven't seen that, and allow another experience to humble you because you think you're going through the worst thing in the world when you really should be appreciative of the things that you're going through because it's going to take you to another place that God has for you. She said God took her to a place of unknown, made her super uncomfortable. Took her to a place of unknown. She didn't have no family there. She didn't have no friends. She didn't have no man. She didn't have nothing. She had to figure life out, like, all over again, start up a new life. And when I talk about her being so uncomfortable, like, so crazy because it resonates with me, like, right now, like, I'm way more comfortable than I was when I first started. But when I first started this stuff, like I said, y'all, I did not want to do this. I did not want to be vulnerable, telling people about my life and the things that I'm going through and dealing with and how I feel about certain stuff. I did not want to do that because I never did that before. Like, that was not me. I didn't want people to judge me, and I was so strong body and tough and had this guard up that I didn't want nobody to judge me and be talking about me and they group message. And, you know, people gonna talk. I've trained myself to learn and realize and understand that I don't give up. No, I'm just playing. Nah, but I really just, I don't care for real. Like, you really have to have that mindset. Like, I know I'm being put in people group messages. I know people sending my stuff to their friends and laughing or doing whatever they want to do. Hell, I probably got friends that's putting me in their group messages too, you know? But you have to really, like, understand and learn. You can't care about what people say or do because it's not for them to understand. Only you can understand because it's what God placed on your heart, you know? But when she went to California, he had told her to serve. Like, you need to serve. We need to be giving back, giving onto others. And when you do it, you need to do it with pure intentions. Like, I know Megan had mentioned in there, like, when you serve, don't be mad that you're doing something that you're giving back to people and doing that. Don't be mad at that because guess what? You're not going to receive whatever it is that God has for you because you don't have pure intentions behind it. You're just doing it because you're saying that God is making you do it and you feel like some ill will towards it. Like, you just feel like that's beneath you or something. Don't ever do nothing like that. Or, you know, you giving back to the homeless, don't ever make yourself feel like you're higher than them or nothing like that. Give with a pure heart, with pure intentions. Like, don't be that person, because just as quick as God can give you something, he'll take it away from you. So don't play yourself when it comes to anything like that. You're not better than the next person. Definitely not. I don't care if they homeless. You're not better than them. Some of these homeless people be smarter than these folks out here that got houses. Like, let's get into it. All right, let me stop. All right, I think Megan has said, when God gives you a gift, it's meant to be given. So whatever it is that is your gift, it's meant to be given and shared with other people. And when you don't know what to do, Megan also said this, just go back and serve. When you feel lost and you feel stuck, go and serve. Serve in whatever way that you can, whether it's going to feed the homeless, whether it's going to a shelter and donating your time. Go and serve people. It don't matter who it is. It don't even have to be less fortunate people. Go and serve people. Speak to people. Listen to people. Be a servant unto others. Going back into Kendra just being obedient and doing what God told her to do as far as posting pictures on Facebook or Instagram for 30 days. She didn't know why she was doing it, but Megan said in the video, in the podcast, it's proof of concept. Literally the same thing that happened with Aunt Tab. Y'all know Auntie Tab that was cooking on Instagram. They mentioned the same thing. Like, she said God told her to get on Facebook and start cooking. She didn't know why she was doing it. She was just being obedient, you know? So it's just like, it's proof in the concept, like they said. When you do it, when you are obedient and when you are listening to what God says, it does not matter, you know, why you're doing it and you don't know or understand why you're doing it. It's for a reason. So just do it, you know, be obedient. Even though it seems crazy to you in that moment or it seems purposeless, it's for a reason. And then Kendra made a really great point too. She said, you know it's God when you really don't want to do it. And when she said that, I was like, oh my Lord. When it's God, you know it's God because you really don't want to do it. And that's how I felt about all of this. Like I said, I didn't want to do this. I didn't want to do this, but I'm happy I'm doing it because, like I explained to y'all that already, but I did not want to do this. I didn't want to put myself on the forefront. Why do I got to do it? Why me out of all people got to do it? Why I got to be the one to do it? I didn't want to do it. So literally I'm very mindful in the way that I move now. So every move that I make, I think about it. And I don't know. I just really think long and hard. I don't even think long and hard because I already be knowing. But when it's stuff that I feel hesitant about, or, it's kind of iffy to me, I'll be like, when I get that feeling, I already know. I know it's God telling me to do it. Like, I remember I started going to these women empowerment events out here in Atlanta, have them every month. And when I first went, y'all, I sat on the front row. Mind y'all, I'm going to events like that, I'll never sit on the front row. I'll probably sit on the second row, or I'll probably sit somewhere, closer to the back. But I will never sit on the front row. God told me to sit on the front row. Then they had asked a question, I think she asked, what do we think that the gifts are that God gave us? So, normally people raise their hand. I never would raise my hand or voice my opinion because I felt like I never had nothing to say or nothing to share. Y'all, I sat there and let like 3 or 4 people go, or maybe 2 people, and I just kept feeling this pressure coming down on me. Like, I just kept feeling like something was telling me to speak, like I need to speak. Mind y'all, this is literally right after my fast. Right after my fast, y'all, it was crazy. I rose my hand. I really didn't want to talk because I didn't know none of those people in there, and I didn't want to express myself or be vulnerable because, again, I didn't know those people. So what am I expressing my personal story for? I rose my hand anyway, y'all. End up talking. As I'm talking, you could just hear the passion in my voice as I'm talking. And me, I didn't even really know what I was going to say. I just started talking. You could hear the passion in my voice. And the more I started talking about the way I felt, y'all, I could just hear my voice starting like to crackle. Like, you know how you about to cry and your voice start crackling up? Y'all, that was me. I literally started to get that crackly voice, and woo, I tried to hold back, but I could not hold back. And I just started crying, y'all, in front of all of those people that I did not know. Mind y'all, that is nothing I would ever do in my entire life. And I just became so emotional. Like, my emotions took over me. Mind you, I told y'all this was my first time speaking just after my fast, especially on my situation, because I hadn't expressed anything to anybody. I feel like nobody cared to even know what the hell I was going through. So once I started talking, y'all, I just couldn't help it. Like, the emotions started flowing, and I'm like, I'm so sorry, y'all. Did I expect to cry up in here? And people appreciated that. They really appreciated the vulnerability and just me being open and expressive. And I just remember me being so taken back, but also appreciative of them being appreciative of me for being so vulnerable and emotional, because that's nothing I never did before. So when people like kind of gave me my pat on the back and let me know that it's okay to be open and vulnerable, I was like, okay, cool. That made me feel a lot more relaxed. So yeah. Okay, so I got like 2 or 3 more points that I want to touch on. Kendra had talked about, now after going through her journey, she can feel like when she's off track or unaligned, because she said life starts to feel a little bit harder for her. And when she said that, I'm like, can me and Kendra be best friends at this point? Because she literally know my whole entire life right at this point. But nah, so she was talking about that, and it just made me realize, like, I told myself, like, I know when I'm getting off a track a little bit, or I'm off alignment a little bit, or just getting a little thrown off, because I don't feel like my peaceful, and I was about to say normal. That was the first thing that was about to come to my mind. And I don't know why I was hesitant about saying that, but it is me. This is the normal me. So I don't feel like my normal self when I'm off track or unaligned. I feel like I'm almost going back into emotions of feeling like, being in a depressive state, or feeling stressed out or allowing things to make me angry or just putting me back into an emotion or just a feeling that I used to feel that I don't want to feel. I could feel when I'm mad at people, like getting mad at people, or if I'm not being as nice. And when I realized that, I have to pull myself away and get back right with myself for real. So when I feel myself getting off track and unaligned, I know exactly what I need to do to get myself back into that alignment and being back on track with that. I got to get back with myself, have my talks with God, go back into my meditation, and, just getting back at peace with myself so I can give peace onto others. When you can really do that, next level. Like, it's crazy. You really don't know the control that you have over your life until you start realizing, like, you need to check yourself. And that was me. I wasn't checking myself, but now I'm going to check myself as many times as it takes until I get it right. But the last thing I want to talk about, somebody on there mentioned, like, you need to get out of your own way, because a lot of times we're just in our own way for real. Like, God already has our lives set up the way that they're supposed to be, but we put roadblocks in our own pathway for real. We always think we hidden roadblocks, but we put them in there, we plant them in there. So get out of your own way, surrender. Like they said in the podcast, you need to surrender and just let go for real and let God. I used to take advantage of that little phrase, a quote, let go and let God. But now I'm like, it clicked to me on a whole nother level for real. Like, you really need to let go of the things that you're holding on to and let God, like, take control over all of that stuff. It's not for you to deal with. It's not for you to handle. Give it to God for real. Like, you keep suffering and you don't have to suffer for what? But yeah, surrendering is major. And I forgot who I was talking to, but I was talking to somebody, and I keep trying to avoid the things that God are trying to place onto my life. But I told them, I said, you know what? I'm just about to give in and surrender, and I'm doing that right now. Like I said, y'all will see, but I'm just about to surrender. Like, I'm tired of fighting myself. I'm tired of fighting with God about it, because He keeps showing me. Why do I keep trying to see it any other way? Like, I surrender. I completely give it all to Him. I'm not fighting it no more. So, yeah. But, I just really, really enjoyed that podcast. I wanted to do a little spin-off or a little, I don't know what to call it, but I wanted to just talk about, hit some of the points that they talked about and how it resonated with my life. But I hope you guys enjoyed that. Again, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you always for tuning in and watching each and every Sunday. Follow me at my new Instagram, Becoming Brittany J, and I will post that up here for you guys. Join me next Sunday so you guys can see what the new topic will be, and I'll see you guys soon. Peace.